right now, we've got Dale Wilcox. He is with the Immigration Reform Law Institute. In fact, you're the Grand Poobah over there, the executive director, general counsel. Well, we spoke at the Hold the Feet to the Fire Radio Row that FAIR puts on. Immigration is still the issue that will not go away.
This is true.
But what I like about what you're doing at your organization is that you're attacking the issues themselves from a legal perspective, not just build a wall, don't build a wall, all that stuff. And the sanctuary city thing is a major part of what you do, right?
It is.
Yeah. Talk to me a little bit about what you guys are working on in terms of sanctuary city.
Well, one of the things we're doing besides getting involved in the lawsuits around the country, specifically the lawsuit where the United States government has sued California over its state sanctuary law, filing briefs in those cases and whatnot, we have an investigations department, and we're digging into these sanctuary states and sanctuary cities and looking at what they're doing. And today I can tell you that we just got a document production from the Immigration and Customs Enforcement through a FOIA request that showed that California statewide over a 2-year period has ignored 5,600 immigration detainers.
That's since when? Do you have that's since they instituted this state?
No, and that's the egregious part. This FOIA request goes from the 27-month period up until December 31st, 2017. The new law went into effect January 2018.
So well before that, they were ignoring these laws anyway. They were ignoring federal agents. And any American who sees this and looks at this, that can't be legal. When a state or a local municipality just says to the federal government, no, to hell with you, we're just going to do what we want. Why are judges allowing this to happen?
Yeah, well, sadly they have an agenda. And they're ideologues, and judges are finding ways to rule in favor of stubborn states like California.
But on what basis? Because there's, and I'm sorry, it just, I know that they have an agenda, but they also have to have some reasoning behind their arguments.
Yeah, I don't want to impugn the integrity of all judges.
That's
here
probably
today.
A smart idea for you, sir, since you will be appearing before them.
But you know, they have an outcome. And then they tell their law clerks, fashion the opinion according to this outcome. And they stretch law. They create law. They look for ways. But in this California case, 3,400 of those 5,600 detainers that were ignored were for Class 1 and 2 threat levels. So we're talking homicide, kidnapping, sexual assaults, rapes. It's absurd.
Now, these aren't people necessarily that have just been released into the public. They just haven't been handed over to ICE for deportation or for federal processing, right?
Correct. An immigration detainer, what happens is when any individual is booked into a county jail, they are fingerprinted. Fingerprints are sent to D.C. The FBI sends them over to the Department of Homeland Security. Homeland Security looks at them, determines whether they're an illegal alien. If they are, they send what's called a detainer request to the local jail saying, hold them for 48 hours. We're coming to get them.
Right.
We want to deport them. Well, in California, we found out for this 27-month period, they ignored 5,600 requests.
You know what's most frustrating about this is after 9/11, we were all upset that our law enforcement at the federal level and down to the local level were not communicating. They weren't working together.
Yeah.
This sounds like a system that is exactly what we want it to do, and yet the local municipalities are willfully ignoring it. Here in Maryland, in Annapolis, they're debating sanctuary state laws right now. What can we, the public, do about this, other than just writing letters and picking up phones and things like that? Because it's so frustrating to people.
Yeah, well, I mean, sadly, that's the extent of it. Picking up the phone, bothering them, not letting them rest, letting them know that when the next election comes around, the bums are going to be thrown out.
And meanwhile, you guys, you actually sue. You put through the lawsuits, and what is the status right now? I mean, what's the most significant and important lawsuit that you've got working right now its way through the federal courts?
Oh, wow. There's so many. There were 5 lawsuits dropped last week just on President Trump's declaring a national emergency. 5 lawsuits. So we're involved in those.
But we want one of these sanctuary city or state laws to make it to the Supreme Court so they can finally, right? Is there one on that track?
U.S. v. California is in the 9th Circuit right now. It will make its way to the United States Supreme Court.
All right. And based on this Supreme Court, well, who knows? But
well,
it's certainly better than had Hillary Clinton been president.
This is correct.
And again, you don't want to impugn any judge that you might be arguing before. Dale Wilcox, thank you for joining us. Thank you for everything you're doing. If you want to help out his work, it's Immigration Reform Law Institute. Website?
IRLI.org.
See how that works? Larry O'Connor Show on WMAL.